Hi, everybody. Good morning. I hope that you're having an awesome day. And I've been out in the garden a little bit. And of course, I've been in my computer as well. And I thought because it is August, and quite frankly, if you've looked at the weather report, most of us are going to start getting the big chill within the next 30 days. So we all need to be out in our gardens, enjoying them, whether you garden for flowers, whether you garden for food, whether you just like the scenery. So, anyway, I just thought that I would share an experience that I had. So last week, I went out to pick green beans because I love my green bean casserole at Thanksgiving and Christmas and just special times of the year. And I grow green beans, I grow yellow wax beans, and I grow purple beans. Now you need to know that I grow crops from around the world in different time periods so that if due to environmental conditions one is a wash, then I still have some. So I went out to my greenhouse because unfortunately I live in farm country and they spray all the farm country, and I don't want my organic vegetables sprayed. So they're in a greenhouse. And lo and behold, I go out there and the plant destroyer had hit. Now, the first time I became aware of the plant destroyer was, let me give you a little back date and then I'll bring you up to speed to today. So, back in 2020, there is a particular lab, which you all know, and it not only did deployed one thing, but it also deployed another thing. Now, I contacted many, I did articles on it, I reported on it, and I tried to get the word out through other alt media talk show hosts, and they refused to cover it because everybody wanted to cover this one topic that everybody was distracted with, and rightly so. But the nevertheless, the fact remained is that I had these beautiful 15-year-old plants. I had spices, I had lemon trees, lime trees, orange trees, and they were growing in my windowsills in Montana. Within 2 months of that deployment, what happened is they were dead, started dying. I mean, I tried everything and I have a green thumb and I have all the tools necessary. I did my trimming, I did my sulfur, I washed leaves, I gave them fertilizer. I had purified water, the purest that you can get here on this planet anyway. And within 2 months, they were deader than a hammer. And at the base of them, if you've ever made homemade ice cream back in the old days with the crank, um, there were like the rock crystals, the salt, but it was at the base of every one of these plants. And like I washed it off, and I don't think it was salt, but I think what it was the plant. Just like our body has an immune system, a plant has an immune system. And what it was trying to do is get rid of the toxins. And it did that. And obviously, the toxin was highly crystalline. And that should tell you some things if you were into the wireless body network. So, anyway, all my plants died. It wasn't until I got to North Dakota and I got some indoor grow systems, I decided to try it again. I didn't really have too much trouble, but when I went outside, my sister said, "You got to look at these. The green beans are in a bad way." And as most of you know, I'm recovering from surgery, so I hadn't really been out there for a bit. So I thought it was just there's a little bug called a spittle bug that it looks like a little bit of spit on the plant. And that's what I thought it was. When I went out there, I was horrified. Like all my green bean crop, except we're going to talk about the exceptions in a moment, were decimated. The leaves were yellow, they were rotting, and there was like this big, like cotton candy all over it. It literally looked like cotton candy was growing from the green beans. Now, the very interesting thing about this, and I want you to connect the dots because, there's some things I can say and some things that I can't say, is that this was species specific. So it was all of my green beans got the plant destroyer, and the wax beans and the purple beans were absolutely untouched. They were pristine, they were beautiful. Each bean was about 12 inches long. I did take a picture because I was going to show you guys, and then for some reason it didn't get on my camera. Go figure. So, and now they're all chopped up and in the freezer. So, because you can't waste time at this time of the year. If you're a gardener, you know what I mean. This indicates to me that unlike before in 2020, when it hit all the plants, they are perfecting the system to be species specific. So this fungus will attack certain species. Now just carry do the dots a little bit, that means it might be kind specific, like as in kinds of animals or kinds of plants. And you might even say kinds of other that I won't mention. So just be careful. I have something called an Enviro Cleanse air purifier, and I have one in every room of my house because, contrary to popular belief or knowledge, North Dakota has a high fungus load already, all the time. But this is like off the charts. So I do have one in every room. I really like the Enviro Cleanse um, air purifier. It has a ultraviolet light, so it kills bacteria and germs and fungus and all of that. And it's got a really easy filter. As a matter of fact, I did a video. I'm not sure if it's up at Celestial Report. We are still migrating everything over, but it takes some time when you enhance your website. So it will be up there, but it's very easy. You just unscrew a couple screws and then the filter just goes in. And you don't you can vacuum it off and have the filters last longer or whatever. So that really helps to fight inside against fungus. Of course, there's not much you can do outside. If you're outside, with the old plant destroyer, you could battle it with antifungals such as sulfur, powdered sulfur, and copper. I would buy it in the 50-pound bags, and I would put it in a little salt shaker or something, a flour shaker, whatever you want, and it would kill it. Plus, sulfur really does help the plants love it, so they uptake the nutrients from the earth. So if you're supplementing your soil, it makes your food much more nutrient dense. So, but with this weaponized one, this came from a lab. And it is responsible for the worst famines in history, the Irish potato famine. If you want to know the name, let me see if I share my screen. Let's see. Actually, I think just a sec. I have to bring it up on Wikipedia, then I'll share my screen. So just give me a second so you can check it out. And sometimes Wikipedia is not okay. Why does it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Now let's go back here. Okay. So I will show you what it's Phytophthora, which means, as you can see from the Greek plant destroyer, you can read all about it. It comes from the water molds, and that is not surprising given this new weather weaponization that I'm talking about in my 7-part weather series. So, and it causes a lot of environmental damage. It's primarily made of cellulose, and of course, they're messing with the cellulose. And so you can read all about it here. Of course, they're not, this Wikipedia is not going to tell you all the military deployment, the labs, and all of that. That's what I cover. And go to celestialreport.com. I have, if you just type in the search bar plant destroyer, you can learn a little bit about it. So I think that that's what I was going to share with you. Be on the lookout if you see, this is all, I guess also, if this is, August is always a time where blight hits. So it'll hit your tomatoes, it'll hit other things, and you notice that it's blight because you'll get powdery mildew or the leaves will start turning yellow. What you want to do is pull those leaves. Blight is something that if you don't pull those leaves the next day, I've literally had one day where I was too busy because I have large gardens. The next day that the greenhouse, like everything, the plants were destroyed. Now it does, like if it was to hit all your tomatoes, the tomato plants would die, but you can still harvest the tomatoes and they will be perfectly fine to use. So you just pull them off and put them on trays, put them in your windowsill, and they will ripen in the house. Or you can make green tomato pie out of it. So, so sing praise. It's called, just look at Wikipedia plant destroyer. I don't know why it didn't show it, but it showed it that it was showing it for me. So anyway, so the blight this year has been particularly bad. It hit raspberries, it hit grapevines, it hit everything. So anyway, do you have a question? If you have a question, I will start taking questions. Put a question mark in front of your question, and I'll go to the bottom of the chat, and I will wait and see if you've got any questions, and I will try and answer your questions. Yes, Pan Gunter, mushrooms are a huge problem because, of course, they're a fungus. Now, this might be a time, if you like mushrooms, to get one of those little logs with the favorite kind of mushrooms. They come in button mushrooms, oyster mushrooms, chicken in the woods mushrooms, and you can actually grow your own mushrooms at home. These are the perfect conditions for it. So if you like mushrooms, you may want to try. They call them little plugs or logs, and you just look that up on the internet search and then buy it from your favorite company. Let's see. I also want to say that this weaponized fungus, I believe, has been re-triggered at this time due to this new weather program that they have going now. So it's only going to intensify. I also think that it is being intensified by frequency. So I think that, remember, I'm always talking about this integrated weapon system. So I think that's what we've got going with this fungus. Let's see. Yes, Jesus freak computer geek. Yes. Yeah, the electromagnetic field changes. And I'm going into that in my weaponized weather and also talking about where the nanoparticulates fit into the picture. And don't forget, some of these things have, like, they're timed. Like they can time them to go off in 2 years or whatever, so that there can be plausible deniability. So anyway, I am covering it. There are articles for the public at celestialreport.com. I am doing very intensive for my subscribers. Like I'm going to be doing 100 slide presentation on Thursday for my subscribers. So if you are a subscriber, you get all the details. Now, many of you as the public, you just want you don't want to know all the details Celeste knows. Believe me, it would clutter your head. But there are some people that want all the details. Maybe it's their wheelhouse or whatever. And so I do provide those details, all the details from the military. This is a military government operation that I tripped on accidentally because I had time to do that because I'm moving at a little bit slower speed than Celeste speed, which is usually pretty fast. So that's this Thursday. I will be giving this 100-page presentation. You don't have to be there. It will be a live presentation, but you don't have to be there. It's always up on the website, just like this live will go over to my website after I'm done, and then you can watch it at your leisure, you know? So, that's the beauty of this new website is that I can not have you go here and there anymore. You can um, just go to one spot. Now, somebody says that they, have book, the latest book, The Coming Flood of AI. Yeah, I've been reporting heavily since 2010 to 2000, well, let's see, 2000 to 2020. But really, the AI was really coming into its own with the military unveiling of transhumanism and AI. And so I've been covering it since then. Um, so anybody that wants to contact me, remember I do have limited time because I'm in the thick of this. I just found out about this program, and I mean, I thought, oh, I'm just going to do this little weather series, and it will be so quick and it'll be interesting for all of you. And then I dug into the details, and I went, oh my I gotta get this out. But I have to understand it, and I have to verify, and I have to make sure that I put it in language you all can understand. So, anyway, if you want to have me on your show or whatever, I'm open to that around my schedule, and you just send me an email at celestialreport.com, or if you go to celestialreport.com, there is a contact form, and my administrator will get me that interview request. Let's see what else. Does anybody have any garden questions? Um, is it being sprayed in every state? Absolutely, it's being Liberty Lover. It's being sprayed, sprinkled, and particulated out around the world. So yes, a a lot of trees and plants and bushes and people and animals. I don't know if you follow me, animals around the world are going lame. Around the world, all the species basically are losing their ability to walk. That is the timing mechanism. It was so bad that there is a large animal organization called the NIAA, and what they are doing, they held an emergency meeting about all the animals in the world going lame, losing the function of their legs, and that includes, wink, wink, humans. So if you're having trouble with your legs or moving or whatever, realize that this is happening around the world, and just take precautions. Let's see. Any other questions? Tracy Conley, yes, I try and connect the dots with the government military programs with prophetic insights. There is one that I just got done. It's on EMP, electromagnetic pulses. I'm just working on that. Right now, I just got it to my administrator. I am not putting biblical because I thought this is a really big solution for an electromagnetic pulse. But I did learn some very interesting things, but I didn't put a lot of biblical because I wanted you all to focus on there are some solutions, there are some preparations, because electromagnetic pulse does not only need to be done by man. It can also be from this the cyclical disaster cycle that we're in now. So, um, you might just want to check that out. Let's see. Watching you is asking, do you think they're creating a famine? Absolutely. Um, they absolutely are creating the famine, and it talks about it in the scriptures. Let's see. Liberty lover. Does each state governor decide if they will allow this spraying? No. This is uh, after about World War II, they decided they don't need your consent. And what they did is very tricky. They changed the name. If you just watched my last live YouTube, they changed the name of geoengineering. So all the states that did legislation and regulations prohibiting geoengineering, since they changed the name of it, and they broke it down into its molecular form, so it's components. It's known by many different names so that you don't recognize it. It's a form of asymmetrical warfare. And so no, the state governors do not know about it. And it is around the world, so it's near all cities, but also the remote areas as well. And of course, they want the remote areas because that's where they grow the food. Sing Praise 16. Do you know if other countries? Yes, it is around the world. This is not just an American operation. Um, let's see. Uh, it could be Jesus freak computer geek. It could be known as solar remediation, but there's some other more insidious things. And I think I touched bases on it, like those the things that the morticians were finding in certain bodies. Um, that is, we all thought it was from the But it turns out that it might have been from that, but it's also in the air. And so I go into all those details over at celestialreport.com. So if you want to, so I would say, Daniel, that this has been going on maybe 2019, but for certain 2020, although I just tripped on it. I was, me, I just look around certain areas and I just tripped on it and I had time to go down the rabbit hole and I fell deep into the rabbit hole. Is it in the chemtrails? Um, Purple Lion Project. So chemtrails is not the proper word for it anymore. Go to celestialreport.com. And if you want to look at let's go there right now. Stop your comments for just a minute because otherwise I'll get lost. Let me go over and go to Celestial Report and I will show you what it is. Okay, now I got to go back here. Thank you for your, oops, I'm trying to end the stream and not share the screen. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Sharing the screen right now. Look at, instead of chemtrails, is extreme weather barometric bombs away. It's also going to give you a heads up of what's coming your way for winter. But what I want to do is show you new cloud formations. So there's all these new cloud formations. Most of them are synthetic. I actually saw this cavum clouds in Bismarck, North Dakota, when I first moved here. It was the strangest thing I ever saw. And it also goes into, let's see, down here, we'll go down here. I go into not all of the clouds, but so the new word for chemtrails or geoengineering is homogeneous clouds that are engineered by man and aircraft. And homo coming from means from human, not necessarily us, but there's bad actors. And Genitas is created from. And so they say it's from activity, human activity, and aircraft. And then there's some other, there's more, there's definitions of contrails. Then I go into some more. There's shape shifting mutant homo mutinous clouds. So I go into talking about that. Now, remember, this is my public. If you were a subscriber, you get all the nitty gritty on all the details about all these clouds. And then, of course, your different forms of rainbow clouds. So let's stop sharing and I'll be answering your questions. Okay. Oh, sorry, the screen is black. Okay, so just go over to Celestial Report .com and look at barometric bombs away in my scroller and just look up. You'll be able to see the clouds that I just talked about. Yes, please give me a thumbs up. And I would love it if you would share and invite your friends for this, for my lives and to go to Celestial Report, because it is more fun and enjoyable when we're all learning together and we're talking the same language and I can answer their questions too. So please invite your friends and family. And I am so grateful to each one of you who have stood by my research, who have supported me, who have prayed for me during all these years. It's been quite the war and it's only going to intensify. So as I've often said, you all are the wind under my wings. I could not do what I do without your help and your prayers. Sorry. Lori Q and everybody, for the black screen, just go to celestialreport.com. Look up, there's a scroller across with my articles. Do barometric bombs away, and you will find what I was talking about in showing. Somebody's asking about my necklace. No, it's not for healing. In my day, ladies would dress up when they were to look professional. And, if I came to you and some people do, and I'm not, but don't forget, I'm old school. They would dress to go to town. They would dress to go shopping. They would dress to do this or that. How can people take me as a professional scientist and researcher if I look like a schmuck? So I try and dress nice and professional for you all. I think it adds to the credibility of my research, and that's why I do it, not for healing. I don't believe in amulets. So I have the good Lord above me, and he's my healer and the lifter of my head. Raven, how can we stop this? It's in the Bible. And that's where I point out in this series that I'm doing on the weather. I looked up, there's about 150 different passages about weather in the scripture. And I could see this whole program. The Lord was telling us in his word that this was going to happen. And it just went, remember when Jesus said, he was talking to the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and he said, you don't understand the signs of the time, when the sky is red, you know that it's going to do this or that, but you don't understand the signs of the time. And that's only the beginning. I mean, it is amazing though when you lay out the agenda that they have, and then you lay out the scripture, you overlay it, and it just wow, the Bible was telling us all along that weather was going to play a really big part. And does that surprise you? The prince of the power of the air, they are literally trying to etch and mark our atmosphere as well as us. I'll leave you with that little tidbit. Okay. Let's see. Any other questions? Okay. I think that's it. I think I will go back to my hidey hole and continue on. I've got my next webinar to start, and construct, and it takes a lot of work. It's a little bit of work, and then I will not have a live tomorrow because I have to run some errands. And Thursday, I will be giving my presentation. I would love if you would become a subscriber and you could have access at the time I give it. I will be giving it at noon on Thursday for 2 hours. I will be answering your questions on this weather program, one module of it. And then Friday, I'll be back doing another live. And then hopefully I'll get as I get back into the saddle, I will be more consistent about doing like 5 lives a week, answering your questions, as well as researching and writing great articles that you can use as reference. So God bless all of you. Have an awesomely beautiful day. Take some time to enjoy the sun because they do say that those little ice crystals, that polar vortex is just around the corner for most of us. Even they're talking down in Mississippi and Florida could possibly get snow this year. So just take some time. I know we're in a war, but there's nothing like going outside, praising God, looking at his creation, look beyond the stuff they've manipulated, and just enjoy the day, enjoy being alive. And once again, I am so grateful for your prayers and for your support. And we will see you the next time on the Celestial Report.